All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another extra special trailer reaction. Well, we had to do this one right now because did it just drop today, Mark?
It dropped recently. Like I just noticed it. It's not one of those that I need like Endgame, where as soon as it drops, I'm like, okay, I know I'm in the middle of assessing somebody for suicidality, but shut up, I gotta watch the trailer. It wasn't one of those moments. But I happened to notice it tonight, and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize I dropped a full trailer. Let me check this out. Oh, my God, the horror.
Okay. Published on March 19th, 2019. So you shared this on Facebook. There's been some opinions shared, mainly by one Alexis Hana. Alexis is joining us here tonight. How you doing?
Doing well, guys.
Last minute, by the way. We finished the podcast, and it's like 10:30 here, and I'm like, oh, man, we got to get Alexis in on this. So...
What time is it in Kansas?
It's about 9:30.
That's what I thought. I knew I could do it.
For the last time, I live in Missouri.
Oh, yeah.
Missouri, Kansas.
So we're going to take a look at this trailer.
Did you miss me, everyone?
Mark's back from a cruise.
Yeah, can you go back on the boat?
All right, so we're going to watch this together, and we're going to just kind of, I guess, commentate as we watch it, and then talk a little bit about it afterwards. It won't be very long, but here we go.
We should probably clarify before we start, since this is, what our thoughts on the previous movies that led up to this, before we even see it.
Okay, all right. Well, I will say that I do enjoy the trilogy, the first three. A lot of people have said that it is one of the best trilogies ever made.
It's especially better than Back to the Future.
And
I missed something.
I'm a bit of a fan of Back to the Future, so I can't apparently believe that Back to the Future is better than Toy Story 1, 2, and 3. And there are probably some good arguments against that. But yeah, I've actually enjoyed the first three. I remember watching the first one and being amazed at what I was watching, and I enjoyed the third one too. It was a great ending to a series. So Alexis, your thoughts on the trilogy?
I agree. This is what kind of caught me off guard when they said they were making a fourth film, because the ending to the third film is absolute perfection. You know, so many movies, they don't know how to properly cap off a series. They're not sure if they should leave room open or not for another film. But this one just ended so great. Not a dry eye in the house. I love that they got the kid who played Andy from the first two movies to actually come back as an adult and record. I thought that was a nice touch. I even like all those little shorts that they have done with the Toy Story characters, like the one where Rex becomes a bathtub toy and kind of starts a rave. I love that one. There's one where Buzz gets basically abducted by a Buzz Lightyear Happy Meal toy and replaced, so to speak, which is also funny.
There's the Halloween one.
Yes, the Halloween one was good. I like the one where they do a Hawaiian vacation for Ken and Barbie. That was really cute. So these are iconic characters that we know and love, and I've always loved what we can do with them. But again, ending to the third film was perfection. I don't know why they feel the need to make another. They want to make more shorts. Make more shorts. I will support more shorts. I don't feel like we need a fourth movie.
Okay. All right, Mark. What's your thoughts?
See the Long Road to Ruin on Toy Story. Thanks.
Yeah.
No.
Figured that would be referenced.
No, much like Alexis, I'm not one of these people who says, didn't we say all we needed to say with blah, blah, yakety schmackety. My feeling is I'm very much a supporter of capitalism, and if the movie made a lot of money, keep making movies until they stop making money. Just all I ask is that you come up with ideas. If you don't have an idea to continue the story, then
you
don't
end up with Jaws 4.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Then don't do it. But I mean, there's a lot of creative people out there. Many of them actually live in Hollywood, believe it or not. So I don't think it's a stretch to say that you can find somebody out there that say, hey, we're going to do another Toy Story. Come up with a good idea. And under normal circumstances, I'm fine with all of that. I'm fine with doing movies in perpetuity. The one exception that I had to that was Toy Story, because it does end so perfectly. Like I can't think of, and this includes Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, and I can't think of another franchise where I was so completely satisfied with how it ended. I don't want to know anything more about these characters. Like, the nearly going into hell for all practical purposes, and and escaping it and going on to live a new life with this other child, Bonnie. It brought me to tears. It was a joyful ending. It rounded out the arc perfectly for Woody and Buzz. Like, there's nothing more to say here. We're done. Close the book on this. For God's sakes, you're Pixar. Even at your worst, you're still better than the other animated studios for the most part. I'm looking in your direction, fucking Minions. So, Illumination.
I thought you were going to say Blue Sky.
That's a whole other level of insanity. But go and tell other stories. Go and do other stuff. To leave Toy Story alone, it's perfect just the way it is. And then I heard they were doing a Toy Story 4, and even then I was like, well, you've got a good look. Pixar rarely fails. Pixar has a great track record. They make billion-dollar pictures. For every good dinosaur, there's like 10 Toy Stories or Cocos or whatever. So Inside Out, which I'm still angry, made less money than fucking Minions.
Wow.
True story.
Sad.
Yeah, did you know that?
I remember you yelling it.
I was screaming about it for months.
Yep.
I couldn't get over it. So
I apparently joined the show after that happened.
Yeah, you did. Oh boy. Yeah, it was one of those rare things where Rob was like, "Yeah, I'm fine with this," and I'm like, "No, this will not stand. I will not accept it." Yes, Minion made more money than Inside Out, and I was angry with America about it. I was willing to accept a new Toy Story as long as they had a good story to tell. Then I saw this trailer. Now I want to join the Taliban.
Well,
do you think maybe we're a little bit more okay with the sequel because these are characters that we love so much that, like you said, Pixar, they do turn down a few bombs, but it's a numbers game, and they have a higher average of good films than bad films. So maybe it's a case of we're willing to give them more of the benefit of a doubt as long as they're not making another Cars sequel.
Well, look, the last Cars film I liked. And I don't have the hatred of Cars 2 that like Robert Winfrey or many others have. Like I said, to answer your question, yeah, I was willing to accept a sequel to a perfectly ended trilogy as long as the story was good. That's my problem here, which we're going to get into when we actually look at it. Is this I'm pretty you've seen I'm the voice of positivity on Damn You Hollywood. I'm like, I like everything. I'm Pollyanna for all practical purposes compared to the Jay Sherman of the show, who is what Robert Winfrey. Everything stinks. And even I think this is fucking terrible. I showed it to my wife. It was one of those this is terrible. Taste this. I literally this is the worst thing I've ever seen. You've got to see this. And my wife, who's not is not into film and music on social media. That's not her thing. Immediately reposted it on her Facebook page and was like, "This is the worst thing ever." We take our children to all the animated films that come out usually, and we both were like, "Nope, this isn't going to happen."
When I heard that Toy Story was coming out with a fourth one, I immediately thought cash grab. That was the first thing. And this was months back when I heard that they did a teaser or whatever. I always want to see a movie franchise go out on a high note and end it there, because that is held by movie critics alike as one of the greater moments in cinema, is to watch this trilogy of Toy Story trilogy. And you, just like you said, Mark, you said you felt complete after you watched that, and now there's this fourth one out there that, to me, I feel like, okay, this could potentially, if it's not good, and which it doesn't sound like it's going to be when we get into this trailer, that's really unfortunate, because that mars what Toy Story was.
The Last Jedi came out, and Luke Skywalker literally didn't stand in front of the entire First Order with a laser sword and take it down by waving his hand using the Force, which apparently is what at least half the Star Wars fans wanted. When the movie wasn't 20 minutes long, because Rey says, "Hey, we need your help," and Luke goes, "You're right, you do." Da, 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 da. And he rides his horse into space. Cavalry, get it?
Tauntaun.
Sure, thanks. He rides his Tauntaun into space. There was this movement of assholes who wanted The Last Jedi removed from canon. And I have and it's like I looked at that, and then that's why I say I called them assholes. I was just like, get lives, people. Like, I understand if you don't like the movie, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with people who don't like the movie. I have a problem if you're going as far as like, you know, doing you know, like paperwork to try to get Disney to remove it from canon and start all over again. Like, get a life, get realistic. I have the sneaking suspicion when Toy Story 4 is over, I'm gonna be one of those people demanding it not be continued as canon.
I have become what I hate.
Yes, I will look in the mirror and say I must become what I hate.
All right, well, let's go ahead. We'll get into this trailer here real quick, and we'll watch it.
Frustrated enough.
And then we'll cry about it here. All right, here we go. And we are just, if anybody wants to watch this with us, go find the Disney Pixar YouTube website, the YouTube channel. Try that. March 19th, 2019, Toy Story 4 official trailer. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. All right.
Forky, ladies and gentlemen. Buy one for your children at the Disney store.
This just really gives awkward connotations that anytime a child makes a toy like that, they suddenly gain sentience.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how many things, not Forky specifically, but things like that I made as a child?
Okay. Can we just stop right there? I want to acknowledge this because this is the thing that like set me off. I set my wife off. The toy just attempted suicide.
Okay, he just tried to kill himself.
Yes, sir. Let me be clear about this. In a Disney Pixar animated feature blockbuster meant for children in the summer, it features a character which tries to purposely kill itself.
Okay, why do those look like Slappy the dummy from the Goosebumps movie? I can't be the only one who thought that.
So I'm not entirely sure what's happening. Oh, Bo Peep, I guess, is sort of like a villain type character in this.
She's villain?
Yeah, she's trying to convince Woody not to go back, and like, oh, you know, there's an alternative to the happiness that you were so comfortable with. There's this other thing. And
no, there's always been a character like that, but they're not always necessarily the villains. So.
What is that
for
sign?
The record, was there much of a demand for Bo to come back after the third? I mean, she was an awesome character in the first two movies, but I wasn't upset that she was gone.
No, I don't think so. I think that, you know, people enjoy the cast, but I mean the whole crux of the thing is Woody and Buzz.
What new ground are we covering here?
Forky, don't you understand?
What?
I think what Pixar is trying to tell us is fork you.
All right. So, okay. Trailer's over.
What a hot pile of garbage, right?
I mean, I feel like we said all we needed to say in the first three movies. I don't know where else we can go. I felt a lot of the same themes there. Like, okay, now granted, I couldn't hear all the dialogue, but
there's a conversation that takes place between Woody and Forky about there's nothing better than being a child's toy. And right before Forky tries to kill himself, he says, "I was never meant to be a toy. I was meant to be something to eat food with." And then throws himself out a fucking window.
Okay.
Raise your hand if you're comfortable taking your children to a movie that features suicide.
Didn't the toys get lost in the first one?
Yes.
So is that what happens here too? Like they get lost, they got to try to make their way back.
Yeah, there's a part of the yes. Once again, Woody is trying to get home.
Okay, I don't know. I'll watch the movie probably. I don't think I'm going to go watch it in the theaters in any way. You know, I'll probably watch it at some point just because it's Toy Story 4 and I want to see if they can make a fourth movie. Let's just put it this way. If they can make a fourth movie out of this and it's successful and it makes me feel something that ties it back to the trilogy, the first three, and I'm like, okay, well, yes, we needed this. we needed this badly, then, that might change my mind on the fact that I don't believe a Back to the Future 4 should ever be made. This is something that this is a holy grail that shouldn't be touched. Indiana Jones, first 3 movies should not have been touched with that 4th one. Okay.
And there's a 5th one coming out.
And yeah, it's just that you get that feeling. Alexis, I'm turning it over to you. What's your thoughts?
What kills me is that there were 2 little snippet trailers that came out that featured that stuffed bunny and duck that we saw, and they're voiced by Key and Peele.
Yep, Key and Peele.
Which I love those 2. They are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2 little snippets with those characters, I laughed so hard. I thought it was hilarious. I love it when one of the duckies kicking Buzz, and it's like, to infinity and beyond, pop. And I'm sorry, that's funny. That's good. But yeah, then I watched and like, okay, you're starting to lose me. He's like, you had me, you're starting to lose me.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I am the animation go-to girl. I'm the one that sees all the animated movies in theaters. So part of me is sitting going, I don't know, but I have a sneaking suspicion I'll probably go catch a matinee of this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if early reviews come out and say it's great, I'll go with my family. If they say it's I'll catch a matinee.
Here's the problem. This is like the worst of all categories. It's part rehash.
Yep.
The new stuff is so bad it should be studied. From what I can tell, this lacks any kind of imagination. Like there's a comment, and this to me is, to me fucking says it all right here. This I laughed pretty hard at. This from 4 days ago. Disney, we need a new toy. We need a new toy for Toy Story 4. Animators. How about a spork with googly eyes that's suicidal?
Brilliant.
That comment got 3,000 upvotes.
Yep.
And that was from 4 days ago. I mean, like, I'm not quick to be like cash grab because I mean, like, we all want to get paid, and cash, as the Wu-Tang Clan once said, rules everything around me. But this really does scream like Disney took their animators and storytellers that they had on contract. We're like, we want another billion, another instant $1 billion hit. Like, so do another Toy Story. But Toy Story's done. And they cracked a whip, and somebody yelled out, "Where there's a whip, there's a way." And so they were like forced to write this script against their will. And this is just the garbage that they turned in because they didn't really want to do it.
I'm saying it doesn't seem to make sense that they're talking about this whole, there's so many kids out there and you don't have to go back to Bonnie. It's like, that was literally the theme of the second movie. The idea that, there are other options out there, but for a toy, they don't want the other options. That was what made the second movie so great. By the way, Mark, I'm sorry that Eddie decided to jump in on your commentary there.
Every time, and it's fine. We love you, Eddie. No, I mean, but that's my point. Like, again, it's a fucking rehash. You know what I mean? Like, they're rehashing the stories they already told us in the first 3 movies.
We're 20 years removed from the first story, right? Was it 99?
I think so.
Okay. So if we're 20 years removed, Mark, we got to tell that story again for the people that didn't get a chance to hear it the first time.
Have you heard of on-demand video? Because my kids have.
Question, have they thought about just re-releasing the first 2 Toy Story movies into theaters? I bet actually there'd be a lot of parents who would love to take their kids to see that.
I have an even better idea. Have you heard of Disney Plus? I hear all the movies are going to be on Disney Plus, even the ones that aren't owned by Disney. You can watch it there in the comfort of your own home.
Well, all right. Let's wrap this up with probably one of the best comments on this video. According to the Lacious Lover here, only 229 upvotes, but I have a feeling a lot of people just don't get exactly what they're saying. And the comment reads as such, and I think it speaks for all of us. A serpent has taken unwelcome residence within my footwear.
Okay.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that is our discussion on the Toy Story 4 trailer. Hopefully we'll be proven wrong. I
can't imagine that being possible.
All I can do is hope.
Proven wrong. I don't want this movie to be bad.
I know. I don't want this to be like the Toy Story's redheaded stepchild or whatever.
Please don't get me wrong. I'm not rooting against it. But I mean,
show me something.
But it's like if you see a pile of shit in the street, I gotta call it a pile of shit, and I can root for it to turn into a beautiful flower. But it's a pile of shit, and it's not changing.
All right. Well, that being said, for Alexis Hana of Honeysuckle Rose Creations, go check out her. Go plug some stuff, Alexis, before I screw it up.
We're heading to Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City. What state?
That's Missouri, ladies and gentlemen.
Good, very good. Heading to that final weekend in March. So we're coming up right around the corner. Con season is officially upon us. So excited. I have not been doing any conventions for the last 3 months, and I've been going insane.
I was gonna say you seem a bit stir crazy. You seem like you need your wanderlust is kicking in.
Well, I've been giving the exact same plug for your show for 2 months. I figured at this point you guys are getting sick and tired of me talking about it.
All right, Mark, anything you'd like to say there? Plug anything?
Hail to the hammer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for Alexis Hana, for Mark Radulich, I'm Jesse Starcher. We'll catch you at the next trailer we feel like is deserved upon a commentary. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.